We'll start with George Pickens, but in a different angle here before we dive into all of the talk between him and Greg Newsome. He is the only person on the active roster. Montravius Adams has been ruled out with a knee injury, but he remains on IR. That the Pittsburgh have an injury designation for heading into the weekend. He is questionable with a hamstring injury. That happened today. It was the first time that he did deal with that hamstring injury all week long. So it means that he probably either suffered it late in practice yesterday or during practice today. Obviously concerning. I will say that somebody who is talking the way George is talking in the locker room afterwards does not strike me as somebody who will not play on Sunday. I also think George Pickens, much like Najee Harris, much like many other people in this locker room, until proven otherwise, seems to be invincible. I mean, he has fallen in ways and tangled his body in ways that everybody watched and went, oh, that was a snap knee, and got right back up like nothing ever happened. So I think he's going to be good. I still think it's alarming that it popped up today and that it did happen today. They'll go through a walkthrough tomorrow. Massive blow for the Steelers if he does not play. But again, until they rule him out, I have a hard time believing George Pickens is going to be a name that anybody has to concern themselves with for right now. On the other side of that, Alex Highsmith is back, which is huge and I think overlooked on this injury report. This means a three-headed monster is here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have been waiting for this three-headed monster all season long. And I expect massive things. I mean, we talked what's more likely yesterday. I think Alex Highsmith is in for a major game against the Cleveland Browns, a scary game if you're Jameis Winston. And then on the offensive side of things, Calvin Austin remains in concussion protocol, but has been a full participant in practice all week long and told me, along with a couple other media members today, that he's good to go. He's playing on Sunday. He has no reservations about not playing on Sunday. He feels like he'll be out there. So the Steelers avoid a pretty significant blow there. He said that the first hit compared to the second hit was definitely worse. And he said that he saw it, like he saw it coming, but he thought the defender was going to play the ball. He was like, oh, okay, we're just both going for the ball. So the impact will be, aggressive, but it won't be targeted. So it'll be less impactful. And then he said, next thing you know, he just got hit. He was like, oh my God, that was crazy. So the second hit definitely looked worse than the first one, but I would imagine that first blow was a tough one. Pickens questionable, Alex Highsmith and Calvin Austin good to go. Football season is on fire right now. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, well, they're looking pretty good. And I don't think there's anything that brings more excitement right now than thinking about going to the game. And right now, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play even easier. Game Time Picks features out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Obviously, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, round 2 is red hot, but you could go to Christmas Day, Philadelphia, if you're really feeling feisty, in Cincinnati and Baltimore, both on the radar and the upcoming schedule for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me tell you why Game Time is incredible. They have a couple of things. First, the Game Time Picks, which curates to make it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc., all in pricing, which shows you the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Seat views to get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you ever buy. The lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And Game Time ticket coverage, which means your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ALLSTEELERS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code ALLSTEELERS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Unless you feel differently, do you have any concerns about George being questionable?
I do have concerns, but not necessarily for this week. I think that this is a matchup the Steelers can win, even if George Pickens is limited within the game plan. going forward is what worries me, because a hamstring
Okay.
injury, a soft tissue injury, especially one that pops up late in the week like this, if it lingers going into that stretch of Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs to close out the season, that's when it's concerning, because this all year has been the biggest scare for any Pittsburgh Steelers fan is, what if George Pickens goes down? He hasn't gone down, but seeing him on the injury
True.
report does bring cause for concern if you're somebody who's backing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, maybe not this week, but going forward, that's something that you definitely want to monitor, because if he goes down late in the season, they're not going to have a lot of firepower for the eventual playoff push and the playoff run that they'd like to go on. He is the biggest piece to that offensive game plan, especially throughout the air.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. And you bring up a good point. This is what everybody feared all season long, is what happens if George isn't there. Well, I'll tell you this. Everybody talked all week long when it was Calvin. This is Mike Williams' week. He's got to have a big week. If George is limited in any capacity, that is who needs to step up. This is not Van Jefferson. This is not Calvin Austin. This is not Scotty Miller, Ben Skoranek. This is Mike Williams. This is what you were brought here to do. You were brought here to be another name that everybody can rely on, to be a big piece to this offense. Now you're going to get that opportunity. Are you going to take advantage of it? I don't know if I have an answer to that. I don't know if I'm sitting here saying yes or no, but you're right. This is what the Pittsburgh Steelers worried about all season long. This is why they were so aggressive in pursuing wide receivers all year long. They didn't get one. They got Mike Williams, who's done almost nothing. I mean, you do have to be a little bit worried. That being said, this week, I don't know if he's going to miss this game. I have a hard time believing he's going to. And then as long as he's healthy, which is a big if, the Steelers will avoid a very scary situation, but hopefully a wake-up call for the offense and Mike Williams at the same time.